Well, self-confessed royal nut Anita Atkinson is the proud owner of 7,000 royal items, including jugs, tea towels and flags, spanning over 200 years. And she's with us here just now. Good afternoon, how are you today?
I'm smashing. Thank you, Toby. You got that wrong, mind. I have more than
Oh,
7,000.
yeah. Has it grown over the years then?
No,
Mm.
well, it has from 1976, yeah, but now it
Mm.
numbers as from yesterday 12,444.
Wow,
Number
that's
to
a lot.
remember, eh?
Yeah. So where did your love of the royals and collecting memorabilia actually come from?
Well, I didn't set out to have a collection. That just kind of happened.
Mm.
My mother was a royalist, and I mean, my parents, both my mum and my dad, were born in 1915. They were married in
Yeah.
1936, which was the year of the Three Kings, probably the most
Mm.
significant year in the history of the monarchy, with the abdication, of course.
Yeah.
And I was born when they were in the 40s, so I'm the youngest. But my mother used to tell us stories about the abdication and about the Silver Jubilee from 1935 and George VI's coronation, and even about Princess Elizabeth and then the Queen when I was a little girl. So that's how I got interested. I think
Yeah.
it's either that or I was a royalist soldier in a former life. I don't know, but I've been interested in the Queen and the
Mm.
monarchy for as long as I can remember. I can't remember a time when I wasn't.
Yeah.
So in 1976, it was November 1976. It's my birthday in November, and I worked in the fire brigade control room on a watch of girls, all females. And for my
Mm.
birthday, they bought us a double pack of Silver Jubilee playing cards, one
Wow.
with the Queen on, one with Prince Philip on, and that was the start of this like record-breaking collection that I didn't even try to do. Just
Yeah.
happened.
Does it cost a lot of money to build up a collection of 12,000 odd things, or does stuff sometimes maybe get donated?
Well, I reckon more than 60%'s been donated over the years.
Mm.
Um, I never had any money until now, and I have to say I've spent an absolute fortune on platinum jubilee stuff.
Oh,
But
yeah.
before that, no, I've never had, I've never been wealthy, and I've never had a lot of money.
Mm.
I give up my job in the fire brigade to have my children, and I've brought up three children. My husband is a farmer now, but owning his own farm. But he was a farm worker, like a farm labourer, so we never had any money. So it
Mm.
was just bits and pieces that I could get, and people bought us them for birthdays, bought us them for Christmas, Mother's Day. The kids used to
Wow.
get them, well, they still do,
Mm.
and then once it I became known in 1981 because my first baby was due on royal wedding day. There's a bit of
Wow.
a long story to that, but it hit the press. Not that she
Mm.
was due on royal wedding day, but it hit the press. And once the local newspaper got hold of it, and then the local news program, um, I appeared on the television in
Mm.
1981. I've never stopped appearing on television since.
Yeah.
So I'm an
Yeah.
old pro now.
Yeah. But it turned out that she wasn't actually born on the wedding day in the end, so you still got to enjoy it.
Oh yes, yeah, that day I can remember it vividly. Me and
Mm.
my mum sat in the house, locked the doors. We had a picnic in the living room because in those days, Toby, you're not old enough to remember this, but
Yeah.
you couldn't record even off the
Mm.
television. There was no video players. You couldn't record things. You couldn't watch it on catch up. You
Mm.
had to see it then, and if you didn't see it then, you missed it. You would have caught the
Yeah.
highlights on the news, but no, I wanted to watch every single minute, and so did my mother. So we
Yeah.
sat and watched it, and I was due a baby due on that day, so I was heavily pregnant, and the baby didn't come until the week after.
Mm.
But
Yeah. And what did you call the baby in the end? Was it anything royal related or just
wait,
not?
she is called after the Queen. Her middle name is
Mm.
Elizabeth, but
Ah,
her first name's Ruth.
yeah. And do you know the value of your collection, or because it's so much stuff, maybe it's hard to add it all up?
I'm not interested in value, Toby. I'm not interested in money. I've never had any. I never wanted any. I'm not bothered.
Mm.
And I'm never, to me, my collection is priceless in
Yeah.
that nobody can ever buy it because it'll never be up for sale. not as long as I'm alive.
Yeah.
And so it's not valuable, it's valueless.
Yeah.
Something's only valuable if you're going to sell it, and I'm not, never going to sell it.
And do you hope that somebody will inherit this? It's not just gonna be put on eBay when you are gone?
They'd have a job and they'd be on forever putting it on
Yeah.
eBay. But no, I've already written my will, and
Mm.
I've left my whole collection to my grandchildren. I have 4 granddaughters and a baby grandson. He hasn't been added to the will yet, actually, but the 4 granddaughters will inherit it, and they can do whatever they want. Really,
Yeah.
it's if it's valuable, well, good. They've
Yeah.
got some money. But
Yeah. And what is the oldest piece of memorabilia that you have? Do you know?
yes, it celebrates. It's a snuff box that celebrates the coronation of George III in 1761. He was
Wow.
Queen Victoria's grandfather.
Yeah. That's pretty old.
Yeah.
How did you manage to get that?
Do you know? I can't even remember. Some I would have got it myself because unless if other people have given us them, I remember, and I remember who's given us what. If I buy them myself, I can't remember where I've got them from. You know, I don't really do car boot sales, but I do search on the internet for particular things that I want that would fill a gap in the collection. But I think, well, I'm probably mistaken. I was going to say I think I've filled all the gaps, but who knows? Something always turns up.
Yeah. That's true. And what is the biggest bit of memorabilia you have? Is there something that's massive?
It's probably my Union Jack Mini,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's filled with memorabilia, and it is an old Mini. It's 20 years old this year. I got it given. My daughter gave us it, my eldest daughter, and I wrapped it in vinyl. I had it wrapped, so it's just Union Jack from top to toe. But inside is memorabilia, and just if you get car stickers. In fact, I've got the Platinum Jubilee car stickers, and on the front bumper it has on 70 glorious years, and on the rear bumper it has God Save the Queen. So
Wow.
that's the biggest thing, because you got to drive it.
Yeah. And do you have to insure a lot of your collection? Obviously the
No.
car if you're going to drive it legally, but all the other stuff, do you have to pay a lot for insurance, or do you just not?
I don't insure it. I don't insure it. And I'm not one of these people that even believes in the compensation culture. If something breaks, it breaks. If I drop something, or if someone knocks it down while they're in the museum, well, so what, so be it. Just whatever. I have to try and find another one. Usually I have another one because, I have 7,000 items in the museum. I have 1,000 items out in the home, or thereabouts. I don't know whether it's exactly that. And a lot of the rest of them are in the loft in the house. But I've just founded, the museum is in an old dairy on the farm, and I've just converted the pigsty so that I've got a royal library with 1,500 books in and 3,500 newspapers and magazines.
Wow, that's incredible.
I know. It's nuts.
What is perhaps the most precious bit of memorabilia that you've got? If somebody came in and knocked it off the shelf, you would be pretty annoyed about it.
Well, I wouldn't really, because the things that I would not like to lose and things that will break. The pots and the plates and stuff like that. Well, the 10 a penny them. I've got literally thousands.
Yeah.
I get a bit sick of mugs, really. Except she says that, and yesterday I bought 5 Platinum Jubilee mugs for my grandchildren. But no, the things like this, I'll try and explain how when people donate things, and I've had people's collections donated from around the world, sent by courier to my house, and just incredible. Every single piece holds a memory. I don't necessarily know that memory, but I'm the custodian of it. I'm the custodian of other people's memories, really, because they all have a memory. But there are some that I do know the memories of. And one in particular always stands out, and it's something that I show people who come to my museum. And it's a Silver Jubilee birthday card. So In Silver Jubilee, yeah, everything was Silver Jubilee. The milk
Yeah.
bottle tops on the milk and the box of matches and everything. You went out to buy a driving license and wallet that had Silver Jubilee on. Silver Jubilee knickers I've got, of Silver
Yeah.
Jubilee t-shirts, ties, socks, everything. But you could also buy Silver Jubilee birthday cards. So it would say on the front, Happy birthday in this Jubilee year. Now, I was sent this through the post by a lady that lived in Nottinghamshire, and it was
Mm.
sent to me in 1999. She'd seen us on a programme on the television and thought I only collected Silver Jubilee items. So there must have been, maybe that's all that, I can't remember, but maybe that was all that I was required to take to that television studio.
Mm.
Anyway, she sent a letter to the television people and said, I'd be obliged if you could pass this card on to the lady that collects Silver Jubilee memorabilia. And inside the birthday card, it says, to Haig on your 12th birthday, love, mother and dad. And the letter went on to say that she'd sent that birthday card to a late son who died in 1991, being killed on his way to work on a motorbike. Now, that took a lot to give that card to me.
Yeah.
So I've really got to look after that card. And I have done since 1999, and I will continue to. It's not going anywhere other than I show it to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whoever Haig was, he is remembered every day in my museum. And that's not the only thing, but that's a good example.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that there's, a story behind something that looks so worthless, perhaps, to the average eye.
Yeah, I would hate to lose that. I'd be really upset about that.
Yeah.
And it's not even mine. It was given to me. But, other things that my children have made over the years or bought, and my grandchildren that have made things, they make, two of my granddaughters can sew and they can weave, they can do macrame, they do proddy mats, and they make things for us, and they're very precious. Wouldn't like to lose them.
Yeah. Did you see earlier this year there was a commemorative thing they made, but they made a typo, and it was the Platinum Jubilee.
They did that deliberately. It doesn't amuse us at all. Like, I'm being Queen Victoria, I am not amused. And I'll tell you what my feelings are on this. I don't know whether I'm right or not. But when William and Kate were married, I ordered a mug. Well, hey, I ordered a mug. That was 2011, of course, and it came from abroad, from China. Yeah. And when I got the mug, I looked at it and I thought, what on earth? They put Harry on it instead of William. So it had Harry and Kate on, and then they tried to recall it, and I thought, nah, you're not getting mine, because that will be a real collector's item in the future. And then when Harry and Meghan got married, I ordered a plate, and when it came, it had Ed Sheeran on it. I mean, the ginger bloke that's famous, it was Ed Sheeran. It wasn't Prince Harry. And then I thought, well, that's good. I wish I'd ordered more than them now, but never mind. And then this year, when they said Platinum Jubilee, I thought, hold on a minute. You're just doing this deliberately because everyone will buy it, hoping that this is the collectible of the future. So I thought, nah, I'm not having one. I don't want one. Yeah. I haven't got it.
I suppose it's good for publicity, because that item wouldn't have been in the news if it wasn't for the mistake.
Exactly, but it wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate mistake. Yes. And that was, to get the publicity and to get those Platinum Jubilees sold. Actually, I used to eat Jubilees when I was little. I didn't realise that they were called Jubilees, and they must have been brought out for some reason, but they were like a triangular ice lolly that, they were called Jubilees. That's what me and my friends called them.
Yeah. I remember them. I haven't seen them in a while. What's happened to them? Maybe you only get them on special occasions.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to them, but anyway, that's the only Jubilee I want. One of them.
Yeah.
Strawberry one.
And are you still collecting? I take it you are, with the amount of mugs you bought yesterday.
Yeah. I had a young man a local young man called in the other day with a big bag of royal memorabilia that he'd just picked up in passing. He's, over the last few weeks. He'd called at one of his mates' houses on the way down, and he told him he was coming to my house. Said, oh, here, I've got some things. And they were two coronation wall plaques from 1911, from George V's coronation, that I didn't have. Ceramic. ceramic wall plaques. And when I looked in the bag from Dan, there was actually, I've got it right here because I've yet to put it away. I've never seen that before.
Wow.
It's a Silver Jubilee tray, but it has
Yeah.
4 other queens on it.
Hmm.
You know, our queen is only the sixth queen regnant in
Yeah.
1,000 years of monarchy, and there was 5 before her. The only one that's not on here is Mary II. He was married to William III, and they ruled jointly. But that's okay because I get why they haven't put that on. But yeah, and that's something that I've never seen before. Didn't know existed, and this young lad from roundabout just called and who is this? Is that nice, isn't it?
Wow, yeah, that's incredible. And do you find that people are quite willing to give stuff away that, perhaps looks quite valuable or maybe they'd quite like to keep?
The things are valuable. I don't think what I usually you people who donate whole collections want to give them to me to look after because they know that after they've gone, the family will throw them in the bin. They won't realise the significance. So I had a huge collection sent from America. This lady was born British, but had lived in America for over 60 years. She didn't have any family. And she rang me. She rang me home number from Denver in Colorado. She actually told us that her and her friends had been following me for years. I didn't even know people followed us until that moment. But when they did come, I mean, they were top of the range stuff from Harrods. Some of them were solid silver. There was things that I didn't even know existed because they were very, very limited editions. And they came, by air and just incredible. Absolutely. I cannot believe it. So that's another reason why I would never, ever think of selling this collection because it's not mine, really. I'm just looking after it.
Yeah. And have you ever met any members of the royal family, by the way?
I think they'd probably remember if that. Well, I was officially presented to the Queen Mother in 100th year in the year 2000, and that was in St James's Palace. Mind, I think there was a bit of a mix-up because nobody told us I was going to get presented to the Queen Mother. But I managed to keep myself together for a while before I clammed up because I saw the enormity of the whole situation. You know me. Yeah. I'm from County Durham, and my 2 grandfathers were miners, coal miners. My dad was a coal miner. He went down the mine when he was 14. Didn't stop long, like. He became a bus driver. And here I was in St James's Palace talking to the Queen Mother like she was my best friend. And it hit us like a bolt of lightning at one point, and I couldn't say any more, which is not me because I can talk behind leg off a donkey.
Yeah.
I do regularly.
And how are you celebrating the Platinum Jubilee this year?
Oh, well, what I was going to do is I was just going to hot-foot it down to London because I have 2 daughters who live in London, have houses in London anyway. And I thought, well, I could just please myself. I could go where I wanted to, come back when I wanted to, do whatever. And then I have, I got a big family. My dad was the eldest of 9. I have literally dozens of cousins. And one of my cousins, Ben, he works with adults with learning disabilities to get them into employment. He's very good at it. He's absolutely brilliant. But these people that he works with, they need work experience, and it's very difficult sometimes to get them into work so they can get the work experience to put on the CV and therefore get a job. So Ben rang me and he said, will you do a pop-up royalties in Bishop Auckland for us? And I said, well, why would I want to do that? Because I've got a museum with a tea room in at home if I wanted to do that. Not that I do. But and he said, well, it's just that my people, they could make all the cakes, they could serve in the tea room, it gives them work experience. So I thought, oh, my, go on then. So Thursday and Friday, I'm doing this pop-up royalties in Bishop Auckland, which is not far from where I live. Then on the Saturday, I think we're just going to have a bit of a get-together, just the family. Yeah. And on Sunday, I'm opening it up to anybody that wants to come. It's a street party, but I don't live in the street, on the farm. So we opening up a field, and anybody that wants to come, just bring a picnic, bring a drink, bring a picnic blanket, and I'll provide the entertainment.
Yeah.
We'll have music, games, traditional, English. We'll do some wife carrying, I think. And the hokey cokey, maybe he's a massive hokey cokey, and we'll sing Land of Hope and Glory or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. But it'll all be, I don't even know what I'm doing yet, but it'll be all dressed up. You know, there'll be queenies everywhere and bunting
Yeah.
and flags and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty dressed up as it is, presumably.
Well, it always is anyway. Yeah, the flag
Yeah.
flying. You know, I've got the Platinum Jubilee flags been flying all year.
Mm.
Well, from 6th of February it was anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's queenies all over the place. We've got homes in the garden and just, everywhere.
Yeah.
It's great.
And obviously, you weren't on the planet for the first little bit of this, but what is your favourite memory of the Queen from the past 70 years?
Oh, blink! Well, it's got to be the Silver Jubilee. But
Mm.
no, you're right. The Queen, I wasn't born until a few years after the Queen was crowned. But
Yeah.
and the biggest event in my lifetime was the Silver Jubilee. I was too young to enjoy the royal weddings of the 60s of Princess Margaret, Princess Alexandra, the Duke of
Yeah.
Kent. Um, I had a day off school for Princess Anne's wedding, and I
Oh.
quite enjoyed that. But the biggest event was the Silver Jubilee, and the
Yeah.
whole place went nuts. There wasn't a face anywhere that wasn't smiling. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. I've got so many memories from that year. It was just incredible. And, I keep saying this because I've only just started this year,
Mm.
but, the Queen's reign is the story of my life. It's the
Yeah.
story of your life as well, but particularly mine. Excuse me, particularly mine because in Silver Jubilee year I met my husband and we got engaged that year. And then in 1981, when I had my first baby, it was the royal wedding. And
Yeah.
1984, when Prince Harry was born, I had my son. 1988, when Princess Beatrice was born, I had my youngest daughter. When the Queen was having an annus horribilis in 1992, so was I. My parents had died. I was a mother of 3 young children living on an isolated farm, and I was suffering as well.
Mm.
And then 2002, the Golden Jubilee. My eldest daughter was 21, my son was 18. And then 2012, the Diamond Jubilee, granddaughter was born.
Yeah.
And this year, 2022, a grandson. So every time the Queen has an occasion, so do I. Really?
That's great. Well, where
Well,
can we keep up to date with you everywhere? And also, where can we find your museum specifically to come to your celebrations?
well, I live in Weardale in County Durham, and I don't have a website. I've barely got a mobile phone. We live in such a rural area that we've only just got running water and electricity. But my museum is private, and I only open it for special occasions, but it will be open for that weekend on the Saturday and Sunday. And it's in Weardale. It's in a place called Harperley Hall. And you just have to stop the car and ask someone to tell you where I live.
Okay, simple enough. Well, many thanks for coming on today and have a great Jubilee.
Thank you, Toby, and you. Enjoy it. And everyone else.